You don't get into God's favor or get into a covenant membership by being Jewish or becoming Jewish, and you don't stay in by maintaining the commandments or anything like that. Thus, Paul is warning the genuine Galatian believers that to get in, one places his trust in Yeshua, and that to stay in, one waits for the hope of righteousness by faith. And so that's the relevancy to our discussion on faith and faithfulness. The debt to the whole law, verse 3, is a debt to whatever ethnocentric Jewish conversion policy the hapless Gentile converts would submit themselves to should they venture down that bondage-laden path, a debt that surely excluded group membership and Torah observance for non-Jews. So in the mind of the Jewish people of Paul's day, the blindness to their Messiah also included a blindness to the presence of Gentiles. And so their whole preoccupation with nationalism, as expressed through this Jewish-only membership, impacted the Gentiles in a way that if you guys, I'm a Jew speaking to a Gentile in Paul's day, if you guys want to belong to the same people group that we already belong to, that we were born into, if you guys want to get in, first of all, you have to change your ethnicity. Then you have to keep the Torah to keep your place in the group, to show that you're a genuine covenant member and one that's a good, upstanding covenant member. You got to pay your dues by keeping Torah. But you can't even get into the group until you convert. Leave your ethnicity at the door. Check your ethnicity at the door is what they were basically teaching. And of course, for Paul, that is wrong, wrong, wrong. Gentiles are brought into covenant membership by what? By the same thing that Yeshua talked about, faith. You have faith in God? Have faith in me. You believe in God? Then believe in me. That's where this discussion is going. Justification by law in verse 4 of Galatians means ostensible justification by the policy that teaches a Jewish-only Israel. So that's the context that is relevant for us for this study tonight on faith and faithfulness, this supplementary material to my ordinarily Trinity-laden commentary. Let's keep looking at my Galatians notes here. What we learn from our studies on this topic is that axiomatic for Paul in his teaching on covenantal nomism and justification is his messianic understanding and application of Habakkuk's famous pasuk, which is quoted in Galatians, which is relevant for us tonight because it uses these same Greek words. The righteous shall live by his faith, Habakkuk 2:4. The righteous shall live by his faith. We're talking about faith tonight. We're talking about faith in God, which should equal faith in Messiah, because Messiah is very God veiled in flesh. If you have faith in God and it's real, then you are going to have faith in Messiah, because your faith is real. It's genuine. It's spirit-led. It is matured faith. That's not to say that someone who's on their way to seeking Messiah doesn't start with a faith that's real in God. It does start off on the right track. The definition of what I say real, what I'm talking about is it is reached its zenith, its fullness, its conclusions are being manifest. You've graduated in the respect that your faith finds its a final expression in placing your faith in Messiah. Your faith in God finds its final, fullest expression as you place your faith in Messiah. Until that day comes, your faith in God is just a journey. You're still traveling. Is the journey real? Oh yeah, of course, it's real. So don't lose sight and don't stop traveling on the journey. In my commentary, I say it this way. In Habakkuk 2:4, the last half of the verse is usually translated, quote, the righteous shall live by his faith. However, listen to this. This is something that many people are probably not aware of. Well, many Bible students are aware of, but we don't express it in these terms. Based on one Hebrew word in the verse, it could just as easily be translated, the righteous shall live by his faithfulness. The righteous shall live by his faithfulness. But we usually translate it as the righteous shall live by his faith. Now, they're both nouns, faith and faithfulness. But notice the nuance behind the faith and faithfulness expression. The Hebrew word emunah is both faith and faithfulness, which is why the NIV, the NLT, the NET, and the GWT all have faithfulness for this word. Interestingly, Young's Literal Translation has steadfastness. All right, so just listen up for a moment, okay? This is a bit of a word study. The origin words for faith and faithfulness share a noun and verb relationship in both Hebrew and Greek. Tim Hegg of TorahResource.com explains the Hebrew and Greek noun and verb cognates this way. So this is the meat of my study tonight. Verb and noun of this one word. One of the major difficulties we encounter in our discussions of trust or believe and faith/faithful is that there's no corresponding verbal form of faith in the English language, right? We have no way of saying that one faithed or that someone is faithing in God. I suppose you would say faithing in God, right? Faithing in God. So we say, I have faith in God. That's the noun, but we don't say, I'm faithing in God, right? Or, hey, did you notice how Ariel faithed in God? We don't use that term in a verbal form, right? That's the way our English is constructed. Tim Hegg goes on to say, yet in both the Hebrew and the Greek, the word expressing the concept of faith, the noun, also contains a verb cognate. So there's some relationship between the noun and the verb that we should be made aware of.